today we are going to start our leetcode problems. So this is basically the problem is we have given two string, and string is basically number, but it's a string format, and we don't use directly to addition, but we use so string method to add the two string. So I'm going to explain. This one is here, as you see the num1. So first we add two. First last digit we'll add, and the second last digits, and if we have carry, and we will move forwards and we will put into result. So what I do here, so initialize a result structure. This could use string builder Java, but we will use Python. And for the P1 I'll put the pointer is end of here. For P2 put the pointer end of here, and then what we do, we do the result. We will add those two things. So if we 9 plus 5 is 10, so okay, so we divide by 10. So if you divide by 10, then you will get there is two things. One is carry will be divided by 10, and the value would be the remainder, and then we will append this value. So if the both string is done, the carry is non-zero, update the result carry, and end of this we will the reverse the reverse the strings, then we will get the result. So let's start this coding. Okay, so we have two things, num1 and num2. So let's define one result. As I said, we will use res here, result, where we store the results, and initially carry would be 0. Okay, and then the pointer p1, as I said, the pointer p1, the end of the first string. So end of the first string, how do we find the last? So we can find in Python, we have the length of num1, and -1 is the because the length is always the string start with the 0 index, so we do the -1. The similar way for the p2. So p2 is also length of num2 -1. So we find the pointer 1 and 2. So now what we can do is, here we will use the loop. So this loop will run till the length of p1 or p2 become a 0. So how we use or condition here, p2. Okay, so this is the condition we are going to check. So now how we'll do, so let's say this is a variable. So basically, so in the ASCII value, if you see the zeros ASCII value is the 47, and if we find the ASCII value, so we can find the actual number difference, right? So let's say ORD. Okay, so ORD, it's would be the num1 to p1. So here we can find the ASCII value. Let's say is 0. So 0 ASCII value would be like 47. So if I find minus, we need to do minus. We need to do 0 ASCII value. So it will be number will come. So this is 0, and when it will come, if p1 is greater than or equal to 0, right? Else we can put 0. Similarly way, this is we call x1. So what basically it's do, so we have 2 digits, so it will run for only 2 digits, right? If p1 is greater than or equal to then else we'll put the 0. So similarly way, we can put here, if you see x2, we do for num2, and here is the p2. Okay, so p2. Okay, so for good programming we should okay, so p1 and p2. And now the value, so value, how would we will use, as I said, value would be x1 plus x2 plus carry. Value would be value would be divide by 10. Okay, so it would be divide by 10, and carry would be similarly, but it would be the remainder. So if you see carry, it should be remainder. So remainder would be carry, right? So let's say we have 11. When we do addition, 6 plus 5 is 11. So value would be 1 and carry would be 1, right? So we define here value. Okay, so now what we are going to do here, now we got value, we got so then we will add in res. So res would be, in result we will append value, right? And now what we do, p1 equal to p1 minus 1, because we started from the end pointer p2 equal to p2 minus 1. So what it's doing, so actually it's doing the reverse order, but let's see the result. Let's run this one. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, and so it will basically come 4 3 2 1. So 2 2 1. So basically we added here 48. So if you see here p1 equal to p2. Okay, so where should we print? We haven't print. Okay, this is the value, so we don't need this one. Okay, let's run. So this is, nothing is written because we didn't return anything. So what we can do, we can return res, right? Let's see what the result is. So res is okay, so we added here p2 equal to, so it didn't come 2 plus 1 equal to 3, but if you see here p1 length, p2 length, so let's add 2 0 0. So 1 and 1, it's 2. So let's looks the code. What the problem is here. So add a string, we got p1, we got p2, and we use while loops. Okay, so x1 is ord p1 minus ord 0. If p1 is greater than equal to 0, then this one as 0. If p2 equal to and 0. Okay, equal to 0. So let's see what the problem is here. Value x1 x2 x1 plus x2 carry. Let's debug the code. If you see here 2 and 5s, right? So this is again a problem in Python. So I think we would like to do x1 x2 plus carry. So 0 0 it came and it appended 0 0. Okay, so now the problem is let's we have some problem here. If carry, if we have carry, then we need to append res dot append carry, right? So if you see, we got 1 plus 1 equal to 2, 1 plus 1 equal to 2, and it should be like 2 2 3 3 1. It should be 3 1, but we got result 0 5 5. So okay, so after that return, before returning we final, we do reverse equal to not join. Okay, so what we are going to join the loop. So for x in res, and we do reverse here. So we want to join the reverse. So x in str string I need to convert, and let's see the what's the problem is here. We got 5 written. Okay, so 2 1. Fine, I will join a string x. X is res minus 1 5 0 0. It should come, but it's coming something like that. Let's see what's the happen. So carry we assign 0, res is 0, p1 is num1, p2 is num2 minus 1. That's the correct. While p1 or p2 is greater than or equal to okay, p1 is greater than or equal to, so okay, let's do 1 4 value. Okay, so there is something is problem is here. Let's look the problem. So how to debug codes. Let's see the code coding p1 and p2. So length num2, so this is correct. So here is 4 and 4, so it came to 3 3, and p1 is greater than or equal to, or p2 is greater than or equal to. Okay, so p2 is fine, p1 is fine. Now x1 is ORD, p1 ORD is 0 minus, if p1 is greater than or equal to, that's fine. If p1 is equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0, then this one ORD 0. Okay, so we do x1 x2 plus carry. This is the value, and carry x1 plus x2 plus carry. So value would be so we did wrong here. Carry would be like this way. That's what we got wrong result. So 2 2 2 is correct, right? So this is what we are expecting, because 2 2 2 2, but its join is not working. So let's check the join, but it's not working. So what we do, we just join. Let's check. Yeah, so this is how the result you can see. So how I debug, what was the problem, and what we did here. So we got result 2 2 2 2, and we reverse this 2 2 2 and join into the string, so this is how you need to debug and you need to solve the problem. So basically nothing, we just use two pointer, carry, and the result. So we put pointer at the end of the string, and we trace back one by one, and the concept of carry and this one. So this one why we did, so let's say we have a first character 1 and 2, so we did ASCII value, and minus 0, so actual value will come. So, okay.